So, flat pack furniture. How hard can it be? Seriously, putting together a bunch of pieces to make an item of furniture. Child's play, you might think. I certainly did, as I pressed buy on a stylish mini drawer set from IKEA, which looked perfect for my new home office. I live in an apartment, so space is always a consideration, and this baby offered bountiful bang for buck in its miniature Scandi magnificence. Flat packs, aka knockdown furniture or ready-to-assemble furniture, are very popular. The concept is seductive. Go to the online or physical store, buy the item, haul it home or get it delivered, and, after a bit of assembly time, voila, you have the perfect artifact for your home or garden or whatever, right? Sort of. But what a great wheeze flat packs are for their makers. Imagine the eureka moment when some eager beaver middle manager thought of an innovative way to make truckloads more money. Picture being a fly on the wall as said manager makes presentation to their senior team, which might have gone something like this. I've been thinking outside the box to bring a major paradigm shift, or is it a pivot, to the table here for your consideration. Thank you for the opportunity to run this game-changing idea up the flagpole. The central theme of the premise going forward is to let the customers assemble the products themselves. Think what that will save us, he, she, they enthuse as they rip through a PowerPoint full of quadrant graphs, up arrows, next to dollar icons, etc. We get them excited about affordability, convenience, and the whole DIY bandwagon that's kicking off. They'll love it and won't notice we're selling them a pop. Next steps? Whiteboard a go-to-market strategy, take a deep dive, unpack the possibilities and shift the dial. I'll reach out in a couple of weeks to touch base and see if it's in your wheelhouse. I had to, don't you just love corporate speak? Jargon is so gorgeous, so cliched. Anyway, in addition to being a walking cliche, our manager was clearly the identical twin of the towering genius who believed self-checkouts were a giant leap forward for civilization. But love them we did. Flat packs, that is, not the suits responsible for them. IKEA, the spiritual home of the flat pack, was founded as a mail order retailer in 1943 by Swedish entrepreneur Ingvar Kamprad. By the early 2000s, IKEA was the world's largest furniture seller, with 300 plus stores and an infinite online buying options. In the same way time heals all wounds, or wounds all heals if you prefer, it also cauterizes past flat pack traumas. I'm not a flat pack virgin. I've given a few of them a go since the London IKEA opened to much excitement in 1987. But it's brutal every time. If you leave it long enough between purchases, though, the scars fade and you forget how awful it was. It's a bit like having a pain or having a bad cold or flu or something. By the time once you've got over it for a couple of weeks, you can't remember how incredibly sick you felt, and you can't remember ever how to explain to a doctor what that pain in your knee felt like when you go to the appointment and it's miraculously stopped hurting you. Flat packs are the same. You do one, you go away, you leave it for a few months, and then you can't remember why it nearly drove you insane in the first place. But your inner recovery mechanisms dampen any trigger warnings, and before you can say flat packs suck, you're back in that magical thinking place where hope triumphs over experience. In my experience, hope has always been the loser. Well, when it comes to flat packs, that is. So returning to last Friday, my new flat pack duly arrives at my business and, with it, my first challenge. It's heavy. When I bought it, I thought it was made of lightweight wood or MDF or something. Oops, it's metal. The box itself is pretty small, but I can barely lift it. How to get it to my car and home without breaking myself? My business partner gallantly lends me his fold-up trolley and, home from work, I'm feeling optimistic and light-hearted as I start unpacking. Until I look at the instructions, when buyer remorse kicks in big time. There are 20 different steps involved. 20! Surely that's overkill for a box with 6 dinky little drawers. Realising this might be more than a 2-minute job, I put it off until Sunday, as I've more fun things to do on Saturday. Sunday dawns bright and sunny, but I'm now a bit groggy, having got home at 3 a.m. and woken up at my usual for Asperger's ludicrously early time. Despite the lack of sleep, I know it's now or never. If I don't tackle the beast immediately, it'll stay in its box for all eternity. It's summer already and already about 30 degrees. By the time I've got to step 12, I'm sweating like a dyslexic on a spelling bee as I realise I've made all 6 drawers with the runners on the inside. Unlike Intel, which is a good thing to find within your computer, for drawers, the big virtue is actually runners on the outside. OMG, kill me now, I think. So I unravel all 6 drawers. Oh, you get the picture. I'm swearing like a trooper. I'm out of control. I've mashed up my fingers with the screwdriver, and well, you get the picture, I'm sure. It took me 3 hours. 3 hours! The miserable hour. 3 miserable hours. But I have to say, broken nails and bruised hands and all, I'm very pleased with myself and my wee drawer set. So here are some handy hit tips to consider as your mouse hovers over the buy button for a piece of Flatpack. Understanding Flatpack instructions is a near impossibility. Sometimes you have to discern a build path from screeds of written instructions, typically in a font size requiring more magnification than the Hubble telescope achieves. The IKEA people had helpfully reduced the one in question to mostly large pictures. Despite this, at most stages, I was still none the wiser and resorted to trial and error, which rewarded me with, well, mostly error. Putting the wrong pieces together or the right pieces the wrong way around is a certainty, and hours disappear like clouds driven by a gale-force wind as you undo it all and start again. It's easy to miss something in any given step. I'm unsure that the back of my drawer set is actually securely attached, but it's the back, so who cares? 24 hours later, it hasn't fallen off. I'll take the win. Think of a number, double it, then treble it, and you might end up with an approximation of the number of hours you need to allocate to this rewarding endeavour. If you're a quitter, don't bother. You need a backbone of titanium. We'll make that tungsten, and the determination of a terrier up a drainpipe after a rat to put this sucker together. If you have high blood pressure or heart condition, trust me, don't bother. On no account, try it alone. Even if the other person is as bewildered by the entire thing as you are, you need, nay, must have, moral support, or you'll risk insanity. Flatpacks are a new level of pain, even if you're a legend at DIY. I've done a fair amount of DIY in my time, hanging shelves, painted rooms, etc., with reasonable results. Well, apart from that one time when I nearly electrocuted myself trying to wire up a small chandelier. Even this shocking experience, yuck, pun intended, had nothing on yesterday's ordeal. If you thought you were a potty mouth before you started, you'll discover profanities you didn't know you knew before you finish. The opportunity loss is immense. So many other things you could be doing instead of breaking your hands and mental equilibrium, grovelling about on the floor, perspiring and cursing the gods of convenience as your body curses your choice. While researching for this post, I came across previously unknown concept of Flatpack assembly services. I felt immensely vindicated because if there are Flatpack alchemists who can come to your rescue and transmute the base parts to furniture gold, that means Flatpacks are actually impossible to put together. So not just me. Phew, that's all right then. How I wish I'd known. But oh my God, the irony of paying someone to do what the manufacturers have offloaded. You pay less for the convenience of buying it in bits, only to pay someone to put the bits together. Is the affordability thing therefore a delusion? Have we been suckered? Unless you're a DI wizard or professional carpenter, why would you need a Flatpack item in the first place? My best advice is to buy the made-up version, get help from someone who knows what they're doing, or even bring in a paid professional, however much it hurts to do so. In my case, note to self, never buy another Flatpack. End of story. End of saga. Thank you, gods of DIY. It's still standing. Be grateful for small mercies.